Here's how poor sleep is ruining your weight loss progress. I'm Shane Rowland, the owner of ProFlex Health, and we specialize in helping people lose weight and keep it off for life. Now, I feel like we all know that sleep is important for us, but I also think that it gets underestimated how much it can affect you on your weight loss or your fitness journey. Because a poor night's sleep doesn't just make you feel tired. It has a profound effect on how our body regulates hunger, stores body fat, retains muscle, and even how well we can handle stress. By the end of this video, you're gonna have a clear understanding on exactly how sleep affects us, some practical tips on how to improve your sleep, and even some of my favorite supplement recommendations. And you're going to learn exactly why getting a good night's rest should be a non-negotiable on your weight loss journey. Approximately 35 to 40% of the population report having a poor night's sleep. And some surveys have found that around a third of adults are getting less than the recommended 7 hours sleep each night. And around 20 to 30% of people report significant issues with insomnia or staying asleep. So it's safe to say that sleep is probably something that we can improve on. Now, in the context of weight loss, sleep can affect you negatively in a number of different ways. So here's 6 of the key things that can be negatively impacted by a lack of sleep. The first is our hormone regulation and our hunger management. There are 2 main hormones in our body to help us regulate our hunger and our fullness: ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin is the hormone that signals hunger and drives us to eat more. So when ghrelin is high, this is when you're going to feel like more of those high sugar, high fat, high calorie foods. And the other hormone is leptin. And leptin helps to tell us when we're full. The problem that can occur is that when we have a lack of sleep, the hormone ghrelin goes up and the hormone leptin goes down, which is exactly the complete opposite of what we want while we're trying to lose body fat. Also, the problem that can occur is that when leptin is low, this can still leave you to feel unsatisfied even after you've had a big meal. A meta-analysis that was published in Sleep in 2016, which is basically where they review the data from a number of different studies, found that with sleep deprivation, this can lead to an additional 385 calories consumed each day. Now, if you're in a weight loss phase and you're trying to create a calorie deficit, an additional 385 calories per day could quite easily push you straight out of your calorie deficit. Sleep can also have a massive role on your overall metabolic health. When we have a lack of sleep, this can decrease our insulin sensitivity, which basically means our body's ability to utilize sugars. Now, this means when insulin sensitivity is decreased, it makes it easier to gain weight and harder to burn body fat. A poor night's sleep can also affect your metabolic health by making it harder for your body to use fat as fuel. And when this happens, if your body cannot get the energy that it needs from fat, this is going to lead to it breaking down muscle to be used as fuel, which we definitely don't want. The third way that sleep can affect us is our overall recovery and performance. We know that a good night's rest is essential for muscle recovery, helping with soreness, and making sure that you're ready to perform at your best for your next workout. We all know how hard those sessions are when you go to the gym, you've had a crap night's sleep, and it just feels so much harder. You don't feel as strong, you're running out of breath a lot faster, and the workout just doesn't feel as enjoyable. And this is going to have an impact on the overall quality of your session, how well you can perform, and if you're actually able to progress compared to the last time you were in there. It's also going to affect how active you are the next day. You are far less likely to get out and go for the walk or go for that run if you're feeling tired and run down, which means that your overall energy expenditure is going to be a lot lower for the day. Which leads me into my 4th point. Sleep is going to affect your overall motivation. Having a bad night's sleep is going to make it so much harder to stay motivated, to feel excited about what you're trying to do, to stay consistent to your plan, and to stay committed to this healthy lifestyle that you're trying to live. Whether it affects your motivation to go to the gym, go for a walk, or even to follow through on those foods that you know that you should be eating to help you to lose weight. We know that when you've had a bad night's rest, you're going to be far more susceptible to stress, you're going to be much more irritable, and you may even feel slightly depressed. I know for myself, when I haven't had a good night's rest, I'm a completely different person. And that's why sleep is always a priority for me. And the 5th thing is its effect on cortisol. Now, I'm sure most of you have heard about cortisol, and we're not here to demonize it. Cortisol is a naturally occurring hormone in our body that we need, otherwise we would die. But when you're sleep deprived, this can lead to cortisol being elevated for longer periods of time, which can lead you to feel far more stressed throughout the day. Not to mention that when cortisol levels are chronically high, this can also increase the likelihood of you storing body fat, especially around the belly area, which isn't ideal. The 6th way that sleep can affect you is your overall health and immunity. When you have a lack of sleep, you are far more likely to pick up some sort of sickness that is going around. After a poor night's sleep, your immunity is going to be lower. And when it comes to a weight loss journey, getting sick isn't the ideal situation. You're probably not going to be sticking to the food that you should be eating, and you're definitely not going to be working out. Not to mention all of the other problems that can be caused by chronic sleep deprivation. Things like type 2 diabetes or heart disease, just to name a few. We know that people that sleep less have a shorter life expectancy. So by prioritizing a good night's sleep, you're not only helping your weight loss and fitness journey, but you're also investing in your long-term health and your overall quality of life. As I've always said to my clients, your sleep is the lead domino in your life, meaning if that falls, the other dominoes are very likely to fall after as well. And as you can see from the reasons that I just listed, this is how easy it can happen. You don't sleep well, your hormones change, your hunger goes up, overall energy goes down, you're far less likely to move the next day, you're more likely to feel stressed, then your metabolism isn't working as well as it should be, your emotions can also feel a lot more unstable, then your cortisol gets raised, and the combination of these things has you feeling pretty crap. So now I'm going to walk you through some practical tips to help you get a good night's rest and get the most out of your weight loss journey. So one of the first places I like to start with people is creating a solid sleep schedule. This means going to bed and waking up around the same time every single day, even on the weekends. Now, I know that might not sound very desirable for those of you who like to sleep in on the weekend, but I promise by the end of this video, you're not going to feel like you need to sleep in on the weekend anymore. When we focus on going to sleep around the same time each night and waking up around the same time each morning, this makes it so much easier for us to set what's called our circadian rhythm, which is pretty much our body clock. So although we usually follow the schedule of the week from Monday to Friday, and then it gets to the weekend and we completely change, we maybe stay up later and then wake up later the day. So when we're waking up at a certain time on the weekdays and then maybe staying up far later on the weekends, or maybe even sleeping in later on the weekends, this is kind of giving yourself a form of jet lag, and it's making it hard for your body to get itself into a solid rhythm. And once you do start to strengthen your circadian rhythm, you're going to find it far easier to fall asleep and also easier to wake up and get out of bed in the morning. Something else that can help a lot when it comes to getting a good night's rest is creating a solid bedtime routine. Now, the way I like to start this is by setting an alarm on your phone to signal to yourself, okay, it's time to start winding down for bed. Same as we do for our alarm to wake up in the morning. So this could be around an hour before bed, start to dim the lights down in your house, try avoiding any screens, and start to do some kind of activity that signals to your brain that it's almost time to sleep. And there's a number of different activities that you can do here, which I'll walk you through later in the video. So here's some of my favorite science-backed things that you can do to help you create a solid bedtime routine. First up is meditation. Now, you don't have to go all woo-woo here. This can just be as simple as going through some simple breathing exercises. Because by focusing on your breath, this can help to create relaxation, release any tension in your body, and help to relieve any anxiety that you may be having or clear out those racing thoughts in your mind. Also, regular meditation has been shown to help us lower overall cortisol levels, which is going to make it easier for you to fall asleep. Something else you can use is journaling. This could be as simple as writing down your thoughts or anything that's been on your mind. Another way you can utilize journaling is just by practicing some gratitude, writing down a few key things that you're grateful for. This can help you to boost your mood and shift your focus away from stress, setting a more positive mindset for the end of the night. Another tool you can use is stretching. Stretching is another great way to help you create that restful state in your body. It helps you to relax your muscles, it improves your blood flow, and you can also pair this with something like the meditation where you're focusing on your breathing as you're going through these exercises. And even if you were to spend 5 to 10 minutes going through some stretches, I promise you are going to feel so much more relaxed. Now, one of my favorite tools to use for a good night's rest is having a long, hot bath. This can also apply to a shower as well. But for myself, I find the bath a lot more relaxing. Obviously, this isn't always accessible for a lot of people. So a hot bath or shower can help by raising your overall body temperature. Then when you get out, your body tries to regulate your body temperature by lowering it, which can send a signal to your body that it's time to rest. And one of the key things that we need to help us to fall asleep is our body dropping our overall core temperature. Something else that can help with your overall sleep quality is getting a massage. Now, if you don't have a partner, this might not be possible, but you could still utilize something like a foam roller or a massage gun. Massage is going to help us to lower our overall muscle tension and can also release calming endorphins that help us to get into a sleep-ready state. Something else that's often overlooked as a natural sleep aid is sex. Now, did I say the bath was my favorite tip? I might want to change that. Now, sex can help with getting a good night's rest because when we have sex, this releases hormones in our body like oxytocin and prolactin. And these hormones actually promote relaxation and act as a natural sedative, making it far easier to fall asleep. So if your partner rolls over and goes to sleep straight away after having sex, it's not because they don't like you anymore, it's just the prolactin doing its thing. Having sex or being intimate with your partner can actually help to reduce overall stress levels and cortisol, which we know are going to have a massive effect on your sleep. So as you can see from each one of these tips that I just went through, every single one of them helps us to create more of a relaxed state in our body, and in our mind, which is the key thing to helping you fall asleep easier, staying asleep longer, and making sure that you get a good night's quality sleep. Here's some other quick tips to help you get a good night's sleep. Make sure that your room is as dark as possible. Also try and make sure your room is as quiet as possible. Even wearing earplugs if you're in a noisy environment. Making sure that you don't eat too close to bed, usually around 2 to 3 hours is a good rule of thumb. Limiting your caffeine intake. Caffeine has a half-life of around 5 to 6 hours, meaning that if you were to have a cup of coffee in the afternoon, 5 to 6 hours later when you're trying to go to bed, half of the amount of caffeine is still going around in your system. So as a good rule of thumb, I would go no caffeine after midday. And if you're really struggling with sleep, I would highly recommend cutting out caffeine altogether. Because even for myself, if I have a coffee at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning, I can feel the difference by the time I go to get into bed at 8:30 or 9 p.m. at night. So once you've gone through and utilized as many of the tools and tips that I've outlined in this video to help you improve your overall sleep quality, the next place that you could potentially look is supplements. Now I have to emphasize, you want to make sure you are doing everything in terms of lifestyle to help with your sleep first, not jumping straight to supplements, because those things are going to have a far bigger effect. But here's some of my favorite supplements to help you get a good night's rest. Number 1, magnesium glycinate. Magnesium glycinate is one of the most bioavailable sources of magnesium, meaning that your body is able to use a whole lot more of it. And we know that a big part of the population are deficient when it comes to magnesium. So if you're struggling with sleep, this would be the first supplement I'd start with. Next is ashwagandha. Ashwagandha has been shown to reduce overall levels of stress and to promote relaxation. Then we have L-theanine. L-theanine has also been shown to reduce levels of stress and anxiety, helping you feel more calm and easing the mind into sleep. Something else that can be worth a try as well is a supplement called glycine. Glycine can help to lower your overall body's core temperature. And as I mentioned before, this is one of the key things to help us to fall asleep. Now, as a full disclaimer, before taking any supplements, make sure that you speak with your doctor first. You don't just want to go out and take supplements because someone said on the internet. As you've learned from this video, sleep can affect us in nearly every single area of our life. And we have seen in study after study, if you are not sleeping well, you are not going to lose as much body fat. And more of the weight that you lose is going to come from muscle mass, which is definitely not what we want. But the great thing is there's also a number of things that you can do to help you improve your overall sleep quality. And you'll notice once you start to put sleep as a priority, your life will be completely different. I used to be one of those people that would wake up in the morning, I would snooze my alarm 6 times and then drag myself out of bed at the very last second that I had to get out. I always felt tired through the day. I never had any motivation. I never wanted to go to the gym. I never had the desire to stick to the food that I should be eating to help me lose weight. But once I started to focus on my sleep, my life completely changed. So hopefully this has given you the incentive to prioritize your sleep so you can change your life as well. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you like and subscribe for more.